Good evening, everybody. If we could please all rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll move right into the high school top 10 students.
You want everybody to line up there, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so good evening, everyone. As you guys are called up, just like every students to come on up there and line up in the front, and then we'll take a number of pictures. Ready to get rolling? All right. Number 10, attending SUNY New Paltz to study computer science, Cheyenne Negron. Come on up, Cheyenne. Yeah, my bad, Cheyenne. Come on over first. Number 9, Matthew D'Angelo. Number 8, attending Florida Gulf Coast University to study civil engineering, Callista Birkenstock. Softball, yep. Callista is currently stealing bases at a softball game. Number 7, attending Marist College to study history and political science in a pre-law track, Harrison Solomon. Number 6, heading to Syracuse University to study political science and English, Emerson Lazar. Number 5, attending Marist College to major in business administration on a pre-law track, Claire Devine. Number 4, heading to Boston University to pursue a career in advertising or marketing, Thomas Rusk. Number 3, attending Boston University to study political science and economics, Denny Menendez. Number 2, heading to Lehigh University this fall to study civil engineering and architecture, your salutatorian, Sophia Montalbano. And number 1, your valedictorian, attending SUNY Geneseo to study biochemistry, Colin Moran.
Congratulations, everybody. We're now going to move on to the National Merit Scholarship finalist recognition.
Okay, thank you, and congratulations to the top 10. Really impressive group. The next award we are going to give out is the National School Development Council Awards. And the three criteria that this council puts out for the applications for consideration is that the students must consistently pursue a high level of academic achievement, success in their classes, high GPA, etc. But beyond the realm of academics, they also need to serve as role models, a positive role model among the school setting, and exemplify admirable character and accomplishment. So in other words, the well-rounded students that exist in our school building, that's who we want to acknowledge. And schools are given the opportunity to recognize either seniors or juniors for this award. I elect to choose juniors for this because it's one more thing to add on to the college application to thereby make you a more attractive candidate when you're looking for admission. I also want to let the recipients know that you're joining good company because we actually have 3 of last year's winners in this venue this evening. Gabby, Harrison, and Denny are last year's recipients. So I hope that the individuals that we're recognizing this evening don't feel any pressure. It doesn't mean you need to be a student rep on the Board of Education or even in the top 10, but it's likely that you may be. So the first individual I'd like to call up is Ruby Brown. Congratulations. Can you just go up to the front? In addition to a beautiful certificate, they also get a Marlborough Central School District pin that you can wear every day to school. Emma Jackson also being awarded this, and I believe Emma's unable to join us this evening, but we can still give her a round of applause because she deserves it. And our third student, Sean Robertson. Big banner. Now we'll do the National Merit Scholarship finalist recognition. Yes, sorry, did I go out of order? No, you didn't. The order I had. It's on the page break. All right, so before we recognize this next student and the remarkable achievement that he has accomplished, I just want to give a little background to add to the perspective of how remarkable this is. So each year, about 1.3 million students across the United States take the PSAT. That is the entry test into this program, the National Merit Scholarship Program. So of the 1.3 million students that take the exam, approximately 50,000 of those the top scores are then divided into 2 categories. The top 16,000 are considered semifinalists. The remainder are commended students, both of which is a huge accomplishment, and they should all be extremely proud. Of the semifinalists, they can then move on to the final round and be considered a finalist after they complete an application, take their SAT that validates that how they scored on the PSAT corresponds to how they tested on the SAT. They have to write an essay, and then they also have to submit their academic record to be reviewed. From there, out of those 16,000 finalists, they then select what are considered the National Merit Scholarship finalists. We are extremely proud to announce that Marlborough High School has a National Merit Scholarship finalist that walks our halls each day and is a positive force in our learning community. And it's my pleasure to not only recognize him with a certificate from us that indicates this incredible honor and also the pin that you can also wear, but I also have the actual certificate from the National Merit Scholarship indicating that you are a finalist. So it's my pleasure to call up Thomas Rusk.
Okay, now we'll move on to the 1,000 Book Program Awards.
Thank you so much. Maureen Stalter and I want to thank the entire Board of Education, Mr. Rydell, and the entire Marlborough community for allowing us to be here tonight and once again speak on behalf of the 1,000 Book Program. Teresa, thank you for always adding us to that agenda and fitting us in. The MFA 1,000 Book Project was established in June 1998 as an addendum to the Marlborough Central School District Early Intervention Plan. The program at the time was started by teachers that expressed a concern to the superintendent at the time, Mr. Sagaris, who we all know and love. He, of course, knew that the scores were declining back then and said, whatever we can do to help, we'll do it. So in order to improve the child's success in learning and to read and to improve reading, the MFA invested time and they thought about putting together grouped books at the library. But that all had to start with the help of somebody else, and that was the MFA president at the time, Mr. Joe Pesavento, and teacher extraordinaire Celeste Franchiardone. Without them and the donations made by the community, the 2 sets of book packs that are placed in the Milton Library and the Marlborough Free Library wouldn't be here today. To date, 60 families have completed the project. The goal of reading 1,000 books may seem hard, but the time spent learning together as a family is an investment that will last a lifetime. Each time parents read a book to their child, they provide an opportunity for their child to make connections and to think of the world around them. Although kindergarten is more skill-intensive than it was 30 years ago, educators still teach reading from the foundation up. They focus on letter sounds and phonemic awareness. That builds a solid foundation for academic success, all attributes that make this program so successful today. Tonight, we have another amazing family that made a commitment to reading. They read 1,000 books over the course of a few months. That is outstanding, outstanding. And it's not only an honor, but an accomplishment. I will now pass the microphone off to Mrs. Stalter, who will give you a little background into regards to our newest recipients. These two beautiful young ladies are sisters, and they had a reading journey together. That was an amazing one.
Thank you, Kathy. I also want to congratulate all the seniors and juniors in this room who were customers of my library once upon a time and avid readers, so it's just a wonderful night. Suela and Dorina de Mahasai began their 1,000-book journey this past November 2023. They read an average of 2 to 3 packs of 10 books a day and visited the public library consistently every few days. Their most favorable time to read is before bed each night and on the weekends. They like to stay up reading until Dad comes home from work. If you're a pizza lover, you may recognize Dad, who manages our beloved Marlowe Pizzeria right here in Marlborough. After completing the program, the girls have shared their favorite authors to read are Mo Willems, the Pigeon series, Jeff Kinney, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, and Jory John, the Smart Cookie series. We are beyond proud of their dedication to reading as a family in our school community. Remember, girls, books open the doors to knowledge and to endless opportunities. Keep turning those pages, and congratulations on conquering the 1,000-book project.
Why don't you just come up so we can take a picture? Being Mark's not here, we'll make sure he gets it. Here, picture.
A special shout out also to our National Junior Honor Society students who decided to do 2 book drives. One of the individuals are here tonight, Sean Robertson, Thomas Malik, and Danny Mayer. I mean, they put this together and they raised money. And 30 books were donated to our program and then some. So thank you.
Dorina, hold it down a little so you can see your face. There you go.
So in honor of all these accomplishments this evening, we're going to take a little pause in the meeting to have some refreshments to honor everybody, and then we'll start up in at 7:30. Thank you.
And as folks make their way to grab some of the tasty treats, we will be doing a budget presentation after, so at 7:30. So if that at all entices you to stay and hear the budget presentation, that's up to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the budget hearing will begin in a few minutes.
We're going to get started. If everybody can get back to their seats, please. Please take a cupcake on the way out.
Feel free to take a tray of cupcakes on your way out if you wish.
If we can get the board members all back to the table.
James, back to your seat, please. James, back to your seat.
Take your time. We're not rushing. Okay, we'll move right into the student representatives report.
All right, good evening, everyone. We're going to begin with some district-wide announcements that apply to all of our schools. May 6th through the 9th this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. We thank our teachers for all their hard work each day in providing high-quality education to all the students of Marlborough. And in the high school, the GSA had an amazing event that they held all week last week, where students could send applegrams up to teachers to appreciate them as little apple pies to show appreciation. So that was wonderful. Yes. May 8th was National School Nurses Day. Thank you to all of our school nurses for helping to keep us safe and healthy, and for being there whenever we need. On Tuesday, May 21st, the MCSD Art Show will be at the district office from 5 to 7, and it is a wonderful display of the hard work of our district's art students, and I encourage all who can to pop in and take a look. It's always amazing.
To add to that, I would also say amazing job to our art department for pouring out to our students and making this a memorable and encouraging event. K-2 students have been swimming at MHS, making a great use of our district pool facility and learning the essential skill of swimming. This improves the student experience and also influences excitement for our students in the future. I remember working with the elementary schoolers and teaching them and being a part of their development when it came to swimming, and may I say that there is a lot of personality there, and I'm so excited to see each and every one of them grow. Many elementary field trips have been happening. Recently, kindergarten visited the Hudson Highlands, and the second graders visited the historic Huguenot, I think that's how you say it. And then the MES PTA is sponsoring the PARP program during May. PARP is a program that encourages kids to read with a loved one for at least 20 minutes daily. I remember taking a part, this is you, in this program when I was in elementary school, and I can say that it sets a solid foundation for good reading habits for the future. It makes me very happy to see that the program has continued. The annual field day schedules for each grade are officially out, and I'm sure it will be an incredibly fun time with the teachers and friends before school is out for the summer.
I miss field day. Moving on to the middle school. The MMS chorus students went to Boston recently, and we're very, very proud to announce that they received a gold rating for their performance, and they spent well-earned time enjoying activities around Boston afterwards. Congratulations to each of the students and teachers for putting in the effort into receiving such an amazing accomplishment. The National Junior Honor Society is hosting the 8th grade dance this Friday, and the MMS musical is coming soon. Save the date for May 31st or June 1st to see Annie Jr.
Last Thursday, May 2nd, MHS had their prom at Poughkeepsie Grand View right on the Hudson River. It was an incredible and very memorable experience, and it was an incredible venue, and we all made memories that we will take with us for life. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We are having different activities and teacher-led workshops daily that the students can take part in. We also have a bulletin board that has a bunch of different things that we can pull out and read that basically encourages our mental health to become stronger. And also shout out to the counselors for really pushing out mental health awareness. The MHS Spring Concert was Wednesday, May 8th. We are very proud of all of our skilled musicians for their wonderful performance. Today was the No Place for Hate and Safe School Ambassadors Storm King Art Center trip, and I have the privilege to say that I was there today. It was a very beautiful experience, and we were able to bond with different students that we normally wouldn't bond with, and it was something that we also had really good bonding conversations. There were some conversations that we just related on, and it was just a whole huge swarm of people just talking. And we also took a lot of really good pictures, and it was definitely an experience that I can say made us feel very free as students. This is one thing that was by student request, to add more school trips in different classes to incorporate visual learning. That was definitely something that I heard in high demand, and I agree with that as well. I learn a lot more about certain topics when I go on field trips. So learning about art outside of school was really something that helped me hone in my own creativity. So I definitely do want to put that out there, that if there was other classes that wanted to do field trips, like history, for example, is such a good way to use not only what we have around, but to also get people more engaged. There was a student who told me that if they was to learn history with field trips, they would actually memorize it rather than having to sit in a classroom. So that was just something that I wanted to put out there. On Thursday, May 16th, students and staff are going to visit the Western Connecticut and Mount St. Mary's College to learn about both schools. This trip is a part of the campuses to help students decide where they would like to go after high school. On Thursday, May 23rd, MHS Drama Club is hosting a musical review, Come One, Come All. And this is something that I hold personal because I am the leader of this, or will be, and it's recently Bible Club has sprung back into session. We have been successful in conveying a peaceful community, and in addition, we have gathered up to a good group within the club. Shout out to Ms. Mont for facilitating and pouring into the students while being a part of this club.
Moving into athletics, Chris DiNatale earned an all-county designation in basketball by the Dutchess County Basketball Coaches Association. Marlborough baseball and Marlborough softball won their respective divisions and will be at and they will be playing in the MHAL playoffs on May 11th. Sorry, I skipped a line there. Marlborough baseball will be at Canteen Field in Saugerties, and Marlborough softball will be at Tony Williams Field in Highland. Was that you? Okay. Marlborough Dukes athletes presented to the 8th grade class at MMS on April 29th. The athletes discussed time management skills, motivation, and sportsmanship with the MMS 8th grade class to help them prepare for the shift to high school athletics. I was there that day when the high schoolers went over to talk to the incoming freshman class, and it was really wonderful. When I was in 8th grade, it was that COVID year actually, so it got cut short. But if everything was normal, I can say that would have been an incredible experience to talk to, the older kids and see, their tips and tricks for success in high school. So I think that was an incredible event and definitely should be continued in the future.
In addition to that, I also do think it is helpful for students to transition easier. I've heard from younger students that when they are coming up to the high school and talking to high schoolers, it's really helpful for them to feel more comfortable in the high school environment. I know there are some kids who feel less confident and less comfortable because this is a new environment. This is a change that they are not ready for. And so making sure that these students feel a lot less nervous about high school and more open to the high school experience is something that I definitely think really does help, and is something that definitely should be continued in the future. So continuing on to athletics, the boys and girls track team hosted the Iron Dukes relay event on April 26. 22 teams from the Hudson Valley participated in the event. Marlborough Dukes girls golf team won their division and remain undefeated with a 14-0 record. And Marlborough Dukes boys tennis won their division and will be representing Section 9 in the team tennis sectional tournament. And that concludes the board report.
Thank you very much. Faith, Orange Ulster BOCES report?
Yes, we met last week. It was a meeting that we did not have a speaker. It was just a time for all of the boards to come together and just talk about how they do things. So it was a good meeting to get insight from other boards. They also talked about 2 resolutions that they're going to bring to NISBA that we have to just talk about and then send an email back to Eugenia to say if we agree with them or not. I can give you this because it would probably come from you. One of them is that the New York State School Board Association support legislation to eliminate the limit on BOCES district superintendent compensation. Right now, we're so uncompetitive with what we pay, so they're looking to get that scale raised. And then the other one is supporting legislation that would increase the BOCES career and technical aidable salary cap by connecting aid more closely with the actual cost of providing such services, which would increase what we get reimbursed. So.
Yeah, they're going to submit those in for the packet for this year.
Yeah, but we have to send an email back from our board indicating whether we support it or not.
Okay.
So I don't know if
Yeah.
she sent that to us or not. And then another thing that some of the other boards shared is that they use a program called Super Eval for their superintendent evaluation and also to do a board self-evaluation. So it's all electronic. They can come up with a rubric for us. And they said that they had a consultant come in to present it to us. Mike, like you presented everything to us, you can put that all into the program. So it might be something worth for us to look into. And that was everything. Oh, and then just the last meeting is June 5th, I think, with the dinner. So we just have to let Teresa know who's going to go to that.
Sounds good. Thank you. We will officially open the budget hearing for the 24-25 school budget. You want a separate motion? Sure. I have a motion to open this budget hearing. James, all in favor?
All right, thank you. While this is not part of the budget hearing per se, I do want to point out while we're recognizing students that we learned tonight that Harrison is going to Marist College. I also want to share with the board that Gabby is also going to Marist College. And I do want to point out that while I'm not surprised, I am exceptionally proud. They both were awarded very substantial merit scholarships based on the work that they've done in high school, and I think that's worthy of a round of applause. So let's get into the budget hearing. As we've done the past few presentations, keeping a running list of the important dates. And this brings us to the second to last date on that list, which is, like I said, the budget hearing. The next important date is May 21st. That's when the budget vote will take place. Once again, polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Before I get into some of the slides that give us the numbers that make up this budget, I do want to give a standalone recognition to a few of the individuals that I'm fortunate enough to work with each and every day. And quite frankly, what you're about to see this evening, along with a million other things that take place or are made possible throughout the school year, they would not be possible without these 4 individuals. Sue Smith, Deb Picano, and Jackie Kitson are 3 of the most remarkable people that I've ever worked with. And Roseanne Mealy, as the Assistant Superintendent for Business, absolutely an honor and a pleasure to work alongside with her each and every day. So while a hearing generally doesn't have a round of applause, I would just like to ask for a round of applause for these 4 individuals for the great work that they do. So let's get into the numbers for this budget. The proposed budget for the 24-25 school year is $65,591,761. That's what we are going to seek voter approval on May 21st. As a reminder, that's an increase from the 23-24 school year, which had a $63,973,392 budget. I have explained previously that the difference between the budgets come from, in large majority, three cost drivers: salaries, debt, and the benefits. It's $1.6 million. I do want to point out that this budget that we are proposing does keep all current programs, staffing, and those items in the budget that deal with what we offer our students. The three main cost drivers you'll note is, as I said, $1,655,841. The budget to budget difference, again, that's preserving all of those programs and staffing, is $1,618,369. So there have been a few questions on that. Why would the cost drivers be larger than the difference? Well, that's because we preserved all of the programs and staffing, but that team that I mentioned on that opening slide, we've gone through all the various lines and looked to see where we can reduce, looking at trends from year to year of what we've expensed in those lines. That's why the difference doesn't match the increase in just those three cost drivers. So I want to take a few moments just to go through two different ways you can look at the budget and the distribution of budget items. And all of this is explained in much greater detail in the packets that can be found at district office, at each of our school buildings, as well as quite a large pile here in the courtroom that outlines the proposed budget for the 24-25 school year. So let's take a look at the three-part budget first. So the three-part budget is, as it indicates, is divided into three components. You have the administrative component, which could be a little misleading based on some of the contents, but those are examples of some of the pieces that make up the administrative component, which is about $6 million of our budget. The program certainly makes sense. That would be the largest portion of that pie. That is $49 million. Major components are your instructional staff, transportation, employee benefits, and services that exist throughout the district. And the third part is capital. This is over $10 million. And again, this would be the operation of our schools, the maintenance of our schools, inclusive of the salaries of the individuals that make up that aspect of our learning community, the employee benefits of those individuals, and the largest portion of that is actually debt services. So again, this is a breakdown of the three-part budget, or a summary of it. That all yields to the total budget for the 24-25 school year. A budget summary that might be a little more useful in how it's broken down, maybe because it's a little more logical in the different components of what our expenses are. That would be the general support. Again, that's about $6.6 million. The instructional realm of our school operations, over $33 million. Nearly $4 million is budgeted for transportation. And again, I do want to pause there and just commend the board on the foresight of looking at different options for a contract for the next school year and really coming out with a very favorable contract from year to year when you see many of the school districts that went out for contracts with double-digit increases, in that we are certainly much less at 1.5%. And then again, the benefits and debt services at $21.7 million. Again, all leading to that final number of $65,591,761. So the revenue, we've shown different iterations of how the revenue comes in to allow us to balance this budget, and this is just another iteration of that. So non-property tax revenue, that's nearly $27 million. Our pilot revenue, slight increase from year to year, $1,542,400. Appropriated fund balance, that indicates an increase from year to year. That's at $3,346,556. And that leaves the tax levy to balance the budget, and that's where the $33,776,652 comes into play. So, how do we get to a tax levy of that $33.7 million? That's through a tax levy increase of 1.99%, which to equate that to dollars, that's $660,053. Fund balance allocation, once again, from the previous slide, $3,346,556. That's an increase from year to year of a little over $700,000. So that decision allowed us to preserve the programs and staffing, and I just want to publicly appreciate or share my appreciation with the Board of Education for that. So on May 21st, between the hours of 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., that's when the ballots will be open, and when one comes in to vote, this is what one will encounter. The budget proposition, this is what the ballot will look like. Shall the Board of Education be authorized to expend the sum of $65,591,761 to meet the estimated expenditures for the 24-25 school year and to levy the necessary tax thereof? We also have another proposition on here, and I want to spend a moment once I read it to explain the reasoning behind this proposition being on there. And that is for the student member for the Board of Education, non-voting members as we have right now, shall the Marlborough Central School District allow up to 2 students to serve on the Board of Education as ex officio non-voting members of the board in accordance with the provisions of Section 17023 of Education Law. So several years ago, this was put out on a ballot for the public to vote on. However, it said student, ex officio student. And traditionally, we've had 2 over many years. This year we have 3 because it was a very tough choice for the board to make. But we appreciate that. But we wanted this to be captured in a vote by our community to continue to have the 2. You guys are remarkable. The 3 of you are really fantastic. It may be tough to get people to actually run for this next year because they would be following you, but I think you gave them a nice set of footsteps to follow, so I applaud the 2 of you. But that's the reason for that proposition being on there. It's not to change anything, it's more to codify what we are actually doing. And then, of course, the third item on the ballot is for the trustees for the Board of Education. There are 2 seats that are in the running. They're 3-year positions, and folks can vote for 2 positions. Coincidentally, we also have 2 candidates running for that. So folks could vote for none of the candidates, they could vote for one of the candidates, or they can vote for both of the candidates, because you can vote for up to 2, and we have 2. And they are in the order that they were drawn. They appear on the ballot as Faith Nanini and Patricia Benninger. That's what would be on the ballot for the public to choose from. So the budget vote, once again, 3rd time, just to make sure everyone knows, May 21st, 2024, hours of 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., Town of Marlborough courtroom, which is right here, 21 Milton Turnpike, Milton, New York. And so with that, I thank you. Thank you for the work that the board has done in this budget development process and the decisions that have been made. I also want to thank the administrators that are to my left, building administrators, for all they have contributed to this process. They do a lot of work to also help us get to where we are in this process this year without adding or actual reductions in staffing, that may not be noticed, but they had tiered systems, and we still have tiered systems in place in the event that this funding were not where we ended up. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Great work by everybody. Can we have a motion to close the budget hearing? Faith? Trish? Any opposed? Everybody in favor? Budget hearing is closed. We'll move on to public comment on the agenda items. Any public comment on agenda items? Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, approves the contracts, agreements, and reports as presented. Personnel recommendations, official board meeting minutes of 4/18/24, claims audit letter and report, contract for Milestones from Munchkin's Therapy Professionals, contract for Four Winds Hospital Tutoring, CBIZ Valuation Group, CSE, CPSE reports, budget transfer, March 2024 financial reports. Can I have a motion? Faith, second. Joanne. Any discussion? I'll call the roll. Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Ms. Nanini?
Yes.
Mr. Kuha?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Benninger?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Put all this stuff in, I gotta move forward. Okay, recommended actions. Second read policy. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, approve and adopt the second read of policy numbers 1110, 1120, 1210, 5672, 5674, and 5676 as presented. Can I have a motion? Mr. Mullen, second. Mr. Kuha, any discussion? I'll call the roll. Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Ms. Nanini?
Yes.
Mr. Kuha?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Benninger?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Textbook, Foundations of Marketing. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, approved the textbook, Foundations of Marketing, for grade level 9 through 12 in marketing business classes. 30 copies needed at $175.50 per copy as presented. Can I have a motion? Trish, second. Mr. Kuha, any discussion? I'll call the roll. Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Ms. Nanini?
Yes.
Mr. Kuha?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Benninger?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Contracts. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, approve the updated contract for Mr. Ralph Rhoda, district-wide computer technician, not to exceed $24,000 as presented. Can I have a motion? Joanne, second. Mr. Mullen, any discussion? Call the roll. Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Ms. Nanini?
Yes.
Mr. Kuha?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Benninger?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Any new business? Any old business? Flying. Any other items?
I have one.
Joanne?
Okay. So I was wondering, with everything going on, I've seen some things on the news about the food nutrition and how they're changing things. I was wondering if we can look into our food program and find different ways maybe to change our food around, go look at other schools, maybe get other lunch menus, and see if we can improve our food menu, and maybe like bring more salads in, more fruit, more vegetables, and just see what everybody else is kind of like doing, and if we can just change it up a little.
Yes, we absolutely can. We've met with students from the middle school and high school, and that's been a topic of conversation. Mr. Callow also met with the middle school students, the student council, and he is looking at doing some changes. He actually made some changes almost immediately with some of the menu items, but we do need to get teams out to other schools because you are correct. There are schools that everyone's doing different things, and it's the best way to share good things that we're doing in our district, as well as good things that are happening in other schools. So we'll actually get folks out there, and you're also welcome if you'd like to be a part of some of that.
Sure.
We'll keep you posted on when we go, and if your schedule allows, it'd be nice to have you be a part of it.
Thank you. Yes.
Any other items? Okay, recognition of district residents. Okay, we are going to, motion to go into executive session. James and James. For personnel and litigation. So there'll be no action after the end, okay? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Please come out and vote. Please, it's very important to come out and vote.
Yeah, we went there last spring.